Have you ever talked so confidently about your dreams that people believed in you, but deep down, you knew you hadn't done enough? Have you ever felt the gap between what you say and what you actually do? Dylan knew that gap too well. At 25, he was full of ambition and even fuller of words. He talked about building a tech startup that would change the game. He described future success like it was already guaranteed. In cafes, he spoke loudly about funding rounds and innovation. On social media, he posted motivational quotes almost daily. People admired his confidence. Some even envied his clarity. But when the cafe conversations ended and the phone screen went dark, reality waited. His product was unfinished and barely functional. Dylan had been building his app for over a year. In truth, he had spent more time explaining it than improving it. He attended networking events religiously. He rarely spent uninterrupted hours coding. Whenever someone asked about progress, he gave polished answers. He avoided mentioning bugs, delays, and confusion. One investor finally agreed to test the beta version. The app crashed within 5 minutes. The investor's polite smile hurt more than harsh criticism. "Come back when it works," he said calmly. For the first time, Dylan felt exposed. His words had run ahead of his work. Friends started asking fewer questions. The excitement around his startup slowly faded. Behind closed doors, frustration built up. He blamed lack of resources, lack of support, even bad timing. But late at night, honesty crept in. He knew the real issue was discipline. Talking felt productive. Working felt uncomfortable. Posting updates gave him instant validation. Fixing errors required silent effort. His savings thinned. Pressure thickened. At family gatherings, relatives asked carefully, "How's the big project, Kaza?" Dylan answered with rehearsed optimism. Inside, doubt whispered. The turning point came on a cold Monday morning. His co-founder sent a short message. "I can't keep waiting. I'm out." The message was simple. The impact was devastating. Dylan stared at the screen for a long time. For the first time, there was no one left to impress. He considered writing a long post explaining the setback. He almost drafted a thread about lessons in leadership. Then he stopped. He realized he was about to talk again instead of work. That afternoon, he looked at his unfinished code honestly. No filters, no audience, no performance. The product was weak, but it wasn't hopeless. Dylan made a quiet decision. For 90 days, he would say almost nothing about his startup. No public updates, no grand promises. He deleted the draft post. He turned off notifications. Every morning, he woke up at 6. He worked in complete silence for 4 focused hours. No music, no social media, no networking events, just code, testing, and correction. The first week felt painfully slow. There was no applause for silent effort. The second week felt heavier. Without public validation, motivation had to come from within. But something began to shift. Bugs that had existed for months finally disappeared. Features became smoother. The interface became simpler. He stopped imagining interviews about success. He focused on solving one problem at a time. Days blended into weeks. Silence became strength. By day 60, the app finally worked without crashing. It wasn't perfect, but it was solid. He didn't announce it. He tested it quietly with real users. The feedback was different this time. People talked about usability, not promises. A small group of users began paying for premium features. Revenue appeared quietly on his dashboard. It wasn't viral. It was real. 3 months later, the same investor who once declined agreed to try again. This time, the app ran smoothly. The investor leaned back and nodded slowly. "This is much better," he said. Dylan didn't over-explain. He simply showed the results. Funding followed weeks later. Cost speeches, but because of performance. Dylan understood something powerful. Results speak louder than confidence. He still had dreams, but now he guarded them with action, not announcements. When people asked about future plans, he smiled briefly. Then he returned to work. He learned that talking creates the illusion of progress. Working creates actual progress. Success is not measured by how convincingly you describe your future. It is measured by what you delivered today. If you are chasing something meaningful right now, remember this. Say less. Work more. Let the results introduce you.